Should you sell your car now? When is the perfect time to sell your used car? There's more that goes into that decision than just getting the best price when you sell, though that's an important factor to consider. You will also want to think about protecting yourself from high repair bills or unexpected drops in value. The three most important factors to consider are market conditions, the condition of the car that you are selling, and your personal circumstances. Sitting still isn't a good option, as every day you own a car, you lose some value due to depreciation. In this video, we'll break down the elements of the car selling decision, so you can find the perfect time to sell. 1. Look at the season. Experts say the best time to sell your used car is during the spring and summer when the sun comes out, so do car buyers and sellers. You'll want to avoid the winter holidays, as family budgets turn toward gift giving, and the gray weather keeps customers at home. Potential sellers also need to look at the type of car they are selling. It's tough to sell a convertible in Minneapolis in January, just as selling a four-wheel drive SUV in Florida is a tough sell in the summer. The flip side to this theory has to do with supply and demand. If everyone starts trying to sell their used cars in March, the market gets flooded and prices drop. If you look at the used car sales sites online and see, for example, dozens of Toyota Camrys available in your market, it might be a good idea to wait a few weeks until the herd has thinned a bit. 2. Before the bottom drops out of the market, if you're a used car buyer, the next few years should be a bonanza. If you're selling, not so much. According to predictions from investment bank Morgan Stanley, used car prices are expected to plunge by 20% over the next 4 years. That's their most likely scenario. The bank's most pessimistic forecast has them dropping by 50%. Following the Great Recession, auto sales boomed, with nearly a third of those sales the result of leasing rather than purchasing new cars. Now all of those off-lease cars are flooding back into the market, creating a surplus. At the same time, overall car sales have peaked and are starting to decline. New car buying incentives offered by manufacturers are also generous right now, so many buyers are opting for new instead of pre-owned, which reduces used vehicle demand. 3. When your car no longer meets your needs, what people need from their vehicles changes over time. Marriage, the arrivals of kids, the departures of kids to college, or moves into or out of the city can dramatically alter your vehicle choice. If that Miata you had as a single person no longer fits your lifestyle, not to mention your family, it's time to sell. You might tell yourself that if it is already paid for, it isn't costing you anything. Unfortunately, it still is. Even sitting still, your car depreciates, plus it requires insurance and registration fees. Just like mileage, the age of your vehicle affects its value, so it is better for your wallet to sell an underused car before another model year rolls around. 4. Before you hit mileage milestones. There are several times when a car's mileage causes a steep dip in value. The 100,000 mile mark is the one that people think about, and it's more a symbolic milestone than a point that costs of ownership dramatically increase. Still, in the minds of buyers, it is enough to reduce the price they will offer. Car values also take a tumble just after the warranty expires and when the car reaches the 60,000 to 70,000 mile mark. Buyers won't pay as much for a car that no longer has warranty coverage. When cars reach 60,000 miles or so, they typically start to need expensive repairs, such as the replacement of their timing belt, so their value takes another dip. 5. When everything is working, it is much easier to sell a car when everything is functional than to have to explain to potential buyers what's wrong with the car. They'll look at your asking price and deduct the price of what it will cost to fix, or they'll simply walk away. If you're thinking about selling, and your car gives you any signs of impending doom, it's time to sell. If you're wrong, the buyer gets a good deal. If you're right, you can save a ton of money in repair bills. 6. before it incurs excessive repair costs. Like we said earlier, you want to get rid of your car before you are facing major repair costs. In addition to the vehicle giving you warning when it is about to fail, you can research what components typically fail and when they do. If you learn that transmissions on your model of car typically fail at 70,000 miles, getting rid of the car at 65,000 miles might save you from a $3,000 repair bill. Although the seller will probably have done their research and might note the possibility of a failure and factor it into negotiations. Of course, you should never hide an existing issue from a buyer. Nearly every vehicle has dedicated user websites or Facebook pages where owners discuss the problems they are having and how much they cost to fix. For example, Honda Civic owners can visit civicforums.com, where they can research Civics from as far back as 1973. A graph of the cost of owning a car looks like a cross-section of a bathtub. The cost is very high at first as you pay the cost of depreciation for the first couple of years. The costs then bottom out for a few years, before steeply climbing again as repair costs build. 7. Before high mileage wrecks its value, every mile that you drive costs you money, and it is more than just the price of gas, insurance, and maintenance. One of the things that car buyers look at is the vehicle's mileage. Too high, and you won't get as much money when you sell. While the specific mileages we talked about earlier create big drops in value, everyday use also causes a steady decline in the price that buyers are willing to pay. If you're considering that one last road trip before you sell, you might find that a plane ticket would be cheaper than the gas and the decline in value from the extra miles. 8. Before you default on your car loan. If you are in danger of defaulting on your car loan or even missing a few payments, it is better for your long-term financial well-being to sell your car and pay off the loan. You'll want to take all the steps you can to maximize the money you get when you sell. When you're underwater on the loan, you owe more than the car is worth. It's tougher to do, as you will also have to pay off the difference between the loan balance and your sale price. If your car gets repossessed, not only will you not have a car, but you'll have damaged credit when you're shopping for a replacement. In some states, consumers are still liable for the difference in the loan balance and what the bank sells the car for, plus the lender can demand immediate payment.